Hey guys, hope you are all well. This video is all about assessment centres, my experience at assessment centres, and some tips and advice for you guys as well. I'm really hoping that it helps someone out there. If you haven't already, check out my previous video which was all about tips and advice when applying for graduate jobs. I would like to say that my own experience at assessment centres may not be the same as everyone else's experience, but the things that I will say throughout the video are general things that I assume most people will go through at assessment centres. So yeah, hopefully this really helps people out there, and yeah, let's just get straight into the video. So I have been to quite a few assessment centres, and though each one was quite different, they all had the same layout for the day. Okay, so the general layout for assessment centres tends to be arrival, that's when you meet all the candidates. Then you have your icebreakers. Not all companies will do this, but I'll still discuss it as well. Then you go on to do your group exercises, analysis, or like a pitch of whatever your group has discussed or worked on, and then the last thing is your personal interview. So those are the 5 things I'm going to talk about in this video. So yeah, when I went to my assessment centre days, I just didn't know what to expect really, so it's nice to know, at least like have an idea of what to expect before you actually turn up to your assessment centre days. So before the actual day of your assessment centre, maybe the night before or a couple of days before, you just want to refresh your memory on what the firm is about and do some research so that you can remind yourself of the firm and why you even applied in the first place. So usually you'll receive an email as well beforehand, and that should have some sort of guidance in it from the firm, and it should probably discuss things that you should work on or study before you actually go to your assessment centre day. So the first part of the day is the arrival, where you arrive at the assessment centre and you also get to meet your fellow candidates as well. This is a perfect opportunity for you to get to know them. Everyone is coming from different backgrounds, people are nervous, people don't know what to expect, so this is a perfect time for you to just like have a chat with them, get to know where they're coming from, what they studied, what role that they've applied for. And usually during this time as well, you won't have the employers or managers around, so it's just the candidates alone before the managers come out and take you through and do all the assessments and whatnot. So following this, you might have icebreakers. Now some firms might not do the whole icebreaker thing, and they just want to go straight into group tasks and show you what a typical day at the firm would be like, and other firms might do icebreakers as well. So if you go to assessment centres where they have icebreakers, then it's a perfect time for you to not only get to know the candidates more, but also get to know the managers as well, get to know everyone, ask questions. It was pretty informal, and they just want to ease everyone into the day before you get split up and go into groups and start doing the work and tasks and different activities as well. So following icebreakers comes one of the main parts of the day, which is the group exercise, and usually the firms do group exercises to reflect a typical day at working at that firm. This is where the employers will really watch you, be taking notes, write lots of things down. This is a perfect time for you to demonstrate that you've done your research, but it's also a time for you to show that to show your key skills as well. Time management, you need to be that person that says, okay, we have 1 hour, how are we going to split this hour doing the task? And when it's halfway, you might just say something like, okay, we're halfway through the task, we have half an hour left. Or even if it's like 10 minutes, you want to say something like, okay, let's wrap up now, let's wrap up our activity, let's round up and how are we going to present this to our managers. You know, just things like that to always reiterate that we're working against time. You don't have the whole day to do a task. Generally, not all firms would look for these things, but leadership skills, can you use your own initiative? Teamwork, can you work in a team very effectively and efficiently? Are you innovative? Can you come up with creative ideas? Do you have good problem solving skills, analytical skills? These are the sort of things that they will look for during your group exercise. So if you can work in a group really well and demonstrate these skills as well, that will definitely make you stand out amongst all the other candidates. And also, something that's very important is you need to ask yourself, are you demonstrating the firm's values throughout the day? So if the core values of the firm are, for example, teamwork and integrity, then are you showing these things throughout the day? Are you showing these things in the group exercises? Are you showing these things in your work? Are you demonstrating these things? You have to keep that at the back of your mind throughout the whole of the assessment center day. Are you demonstrating the core values of the firm? You might be given a problem and then you have to solve that problem, or you might be given a dilemma and then you have to create a product or a service to solve that dilemma. This is very generic, but most firms, when it comes to assessment centers, these are the kind of things that they do. After your group exercise, you'll then be given a chance to present the work that you guys have gathered as a group. So maybe in your group you may have to decide who's going to say what part of the presentation, and it's kind of just common sense to, you know, delegate a task to each person. Yes, it might be good to have good leadership skills, but leadership doesn't equate to being the loudest. Remember that as well. They're not looking for the loudest person, they're looking for someone that has maybe good leadership skills, but also very good teamwork as well. So during that time where you're presenting your ideas, they're probably also looking to see if you can communicate your ideas clearly. Can you keep it short and sweet? Can you articulate what you're thinking in your mind and verbally communicate that with the rest of your team? Can you verbally communicate that with the rest of the managers there as well? Last point of the day is when you have your individual interview. This is when they'll physically ask you, why do you want to work for the firm? Why should they employ you? All these typical questions that you should have probably done during your online interview or your video interview already before. So you're basically just reiterating. They may also ask you during this time for feedback for the day. So you have to give them feedback based on the group exercises and everything. What went well, what didn't go well, what could have been improved, and you have to probably also share that back to them as well. Again, I just like to say that not every assessment center will be in this specific structure, but generally these are the things that you'll go through during an assessment center. Maybe during the day you might have a group exercise and then one person is taken out for an interview as the day goes along. Maybe the group exercise is done and then everyone has the interviews at the end of the day. So this doesn't come in this specific order, but it's just generally what you'll go through during an assessment center. During your interview as well, you'll be asked things that are on your CV. Make sure that that CV is up to date. Everything is relevant to the role you're doing. Everything that you may be asked, can you relate that back to your role that you've applied for, basically? The good thing about assessment centers as well is that most of the things they're looking for are transferable skills. They're not looking for technical skills as much as they're looking for transferable skills. So teamwork, leadership, time management, these are all transferable skills that they're looking for. Throughout the day, you'll have to absorb a large amount of information. So they don't expect you to take on all that information and be able to take that all in and take it on board straight away. But they're looking to find out, can you take out key information from everything that you've been given and work on that? Can you take out the key points? Can you decide which ones are even the key points? And based on that, can you solve problems? Can you analyze them? As I said in my previous video, they genuinely just want to get to know you a bit more. So be yourself, be the best version of you on that day. I'm just going to reiterate some of the points that I've said throughout the video, and these are like the take-home points, if you want to call it that. The first thing is, do your research beforehand. The second thing is, are you demonstrating the firm's values throughout the day? Can you articulate and communicate your ideas well? And during the group exercises, they're probably looking for good collaboration, teamwork, leadership skills, good analysis or problem solving skills, and time management as well. So that's pretty much everything when it comes to assessment centers. Again, if you haven't seen my previous video, watch that as well. It is very useful if you're applying for graduate jobs or even internships as well. Hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please also subscribe. Comment down below if you have any comments or if you have any questions. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked the video. I will see you in my next video.